was an amazing run. Nice. Oh, my brain!
Goodness me.
Oh, are you serious?
The Trail of Missions is the opportunity to come down with a group of great people and soak in all that Baja has to offer.
It's just like this jewel in the middle of this vast, punishing desert.
It was serene, it was gorgeous. Took a minute just to appreciate where we were.
And you have this beautiful body of water, all these massive islands just out there, kind of like, I don't know, you just feel like you're kind of on the edge of nowhere.
I'm looking forward to seeing some new roads, some new trails that I haven't seen before, some new missions, of course. That's what we're here. We're doing the Trail of Missions.
You end up finding this connection, this love for the land and for the people that are down here and the relationships that you form while you're here. It's something you have to experience.
In the 17th century, the Spanish sailed galleons and missionaries to what is now present-day Baja California to establish a mission system. Today, we'll step back in time to live in history while we enjoy the beautiful peninsula and the people that today call Baja home. This 775-mile sliver of land is one of the most majestic places on Earth. It's our goal to share all her hidden beauty with you on the 2016 Monster Energy Trail of Missions, presented by BFGoodrich. The Trail of Missions off-road truck trip sets sail at the U.S.-Mexico border and will head for the celebrated jewel of the Mission Trail, the San Javier Mission. With 18 trucks and 70 people, including crew, we'll off-road for 9 days over 2,200 miles as we visit all the best spots in Baja while loosely following parts of the El Camino Real, or Royal Road, that once connected the Spanish missions by walking, horse, donkey, or cart. Welcome to the Monster Energy Trail of Missions presented by BFGoodrich. I'm Cameron Steele, and along with my wife Heidi and our daughter Kay, we will host this epic off-road adventure to explore missions dating back to the 1600s. I have been racing in Baja for over 30 years, and although my wife and I both still race unlimited trucks, it's the experience of digging deeper into Baja's culture that we look forward to sharing with friends, old and new. And by the way, we call first-timers fresh fish. In recent years, the Desert Assassins have hosted selected truck and dirt bike trips in Baja and other locations like Costa Rica, Iceland, and recently in the Rocky Mountains. But no matter where I go, nothing takes my breath away like the beautiful Baja Peninsula. This trip is an amazing experience that can be shared with family and friends, and honestly, I think the kids have as much fun as the pros, maybe more. Our border meetings are loose and fun, so no one feels stressed when starting the trip. Flapping my gums is one of my strong points, as my other love is hosting TV events. I've been lucky enough to be part of the X Games since 1999 and have seen the world with them, and it's an honor to have the world of X Games sharing Baja with you today.
Welcome everybody to the 2016 Monster Energy Trail of Missions presented by BFGoodrich Tires. We are absolutely pumped that all of you had made the decision to do something really stupid and spend 9 days in Baja. Thanks for being here, everyone. All right, now just a word of warning, we are going to the Punta San Carlos Surf Camp the second night. Nobody grab a surf leash with their middle finger. For those of you guys that don't know, Casey lost part of his finger on that.
Hey, I'm Casey Curry. For a living, I'm actually an off-road racer. I am fortunate enough to race short course off-road. I do some rock crawling. Started racing down here in Baja. You know, we're really just trying to go out and do things that no one else has done and trying to put it on media so everyone can see it. This year on the trip is basically the whole Curry family. I mean, I got my dad and my mom this year. Really her first time being down in Baja on an adventure like this. And got my Uncle John and my Aunt Donna. And then this year we brought along my Uncle Charlie.
I've been coming down here for years, and I know a lot of off-road racers, but there's really nobody I know that's more enthusiastic about Baja, you know, than Kurt LeDuc.
So I'm Kyle LeDuc's dad, and I've had a long career of racing down here in Baja, 30-plus years. I used off-road racing to grow my business and decided that I was going to come be a part of this Baja history.
A couple of families from Colorado will be pescada fresca, or fresh fish, in 2016, and we think they will be a good vibe for the trip.
Load them up, we're gonna go.
Kathy headed across. Charlie Curry headed across. Charlene and Marcy headed across.
Crossing the border is full of anticipation and excitement, and we jump right in the dirt just 16 miles after entering Baja.
Right now we're following a bunch of Jeeps.
With the approval of Cameron, we decided to step off the beaten path and went on some pretty cool rock canyon with some big boulders that we had to climb over. And yeah, we had a good time just being off the beaten path and doing something that a lot of cars or trucks don't even do.
I'd never been to Melling Ranch before where we could stay and kind of hang out. The area that that's in is beautiful territory that dates back to the gold mining days, and it's in kind of a national park where you have to go down a long, windy road to get there. So Melling Ranch is just one of those, another just beautiful, special place down here in Baja.
The Melling family, originally from Ireland and Norway, traveled to California looking for gold. With no success in California, they moved on to Texas to start ranching. After that, they traveled to Baja, and that's where they found gold and were successful ranchers, and that is where the Melling Ranch became established.
We're here at Melling Ranch. This is a super cool ranch in Baja, and right now we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna do a little bit of horseback riding.
It's just like this jewel in the middle of this vast, punishing desert, and it's just this beautiful oasis.
I was raised here at the ranch, you know, my family, my parents, my brothers, and it's nice to know that we can share this part of Baja to everybody.
Trail missions day 2, leaving Melling Ranch.
We're heading towards the Pacific coast. I think we're going through El Rosario by Mama Espinosa's.
While the trail of missions continues, it's time to find some missions, have a little dirt fun, and more importantly than anything, I think today, the surf is cracking, so we'll see if we can get in the water and maybe get a little cover up or two.
Launched it.
We came down a pretty gnarly little canyon, had to move some rocks.
As we leave the San Pedro Martir Mountains, we drop from a couple thousand feet in elevation using a tough rocky section to drop us down to sea level on our way to the Pacific coast and the very rugged Punta Baja.
Yeah, we just pulled down to the beach in Punta Baja, stopping for lunch. There's a little swell in the water, so we're gonna check it out.
Now we're here, I don't even know exactly where we are, on a point here overlooking the ocean.
Just a really, really cool, like, local vibe to the spot. You know, it's just a tough place to get to, so there's not that many people in the water. But yeah, no, it just felt good to get wet after a few days of driving in the car.
When the Monster Energy Trail of Missions presented by BFGoodrich returns, we will visit a desolate outpost that is an adventurer's paradise. The Trail of Missions is presented by Monster Energy, Unleash the Beast. BFGoodrich Tires, are you driver enough? Method race wheels. Lighter, stronger, faster. Lucas Oil Products. Made in America, sold to the world. The Trail of Missions has already seen mountains and beaches, and now it's time for some small but technical silt beds on our way to what we call a resort, off the grid in Baja. No phones, no wireless, no electricity, and no running water. Sounds like a paradise.
So there's this little place that nobody knows about, and I don't want to tell anybody about it because it's a great place and it's underpopulated. There's nobody out there except for the spot called Solo Sports.
San Carlos has it all. Mountain bikes, paddleboards, surfboards, windsurfing, no hotel, you sleep in tents right on the water. They have a crazy bar. The food is amazing, and they really just do an excellent job of making sure that everyone is comfortable.
It's an experience that everybody should go out and do. It's definitely a road less traveled. It's just a lot of fun. They have everything that you could ever want to do there.
I want to welcome you guys all here. We are in Punta San Carlos in Baja, Mexico. I'm Kevin Trejo. I started Solo Sports in 1987, an all-inclusive resort where we've kind of taken the rough out of roughing it and supply everything. If there's anything you guys need, just grab me. So yeah, welcome guys.
Yeah, Kevin!
It's time for our first coast-to-coast trek of the trip, and minor truck trouble is starting to cause some small timing issues. We get Brian Binkert's truck back moving again and on track, but we know Baja always has a curveball or two for those not 100% ready and paying close attention.
Tires so that I can get the handle to jack. I think we probably rolled a bead around the corner there, I'm guessing.
Where's your spare?
We're the DeTulio family. We're from Fort Collins, Colorado.
What'd your dad do?
He got a flat tire. It's not very good.
It's all Dino's fault, that's all I know. At least I wasn't driving.
And we were just looking for an adventure, so we decided to come down here to see what the Trail of Missions was all about.
I was kind of nervous when Dino came home and he said, "This is the trip I'm thinking we're gonna take." And I thought, 10 days in the car with our kids, that does not sound like a good time.
Well, anybody that's got a family knows that road trips can at times be a little dicey, and we've had our highs and lows in the car. We've had a little bickering. We've had to trade out kids for other kids now and then to break up the routine. First couple days were a little rough, but I'd say all in all, we've had a good trip, and we've definitely bonded. It's been fun.
Factory jack. 30 dudes, 20 minutes. Terrible tire change.
Part of Baja's beauty is her ruggedness, and with so many species of cactus on the peninsula, it's of little doubt that those traveling off the beaten path may get poked along the way. Calling Baja desolate is an understatement, but when you get away from everything, Baja can present beauty that is untouched and mind-boggling.
You have a curve to the left coming up. My name is Marcy Archista. I joined a ladies co-driver challenge with Charlene Bauer and was fortunate enough to be one of the ladies chosen to accompany her on this off-road adventure.
We're making her be a co-driver. It's not really a vacation for us like it is for some of the others.
Co-driving is a lot of things. You need to be calling out the hazards and the turns. You need to be keeping up on all the radio traffic, make sure you're communicating. Communication is key. In my case, it means keeping a record of our mileage and our fuel logs, that type of thing.
3, 2, 4. And I'm really trying to empower other women to, get in the passenger seat and be an awesome co-driver, help the driver out, and grab the wheel and say, you know what, I can do this too.
With no distractions for endless miles, you can just settle into being a part of the serene beauty as your off-road rig of choice bounces along on the way to history that seems impossible to have been built in such locations so many hundreds of years ago. The San Borja mission awaits when we return to Baja and the Trail of Missions. Welcome back to the Monster Energy Trail of Missions presented by BFGoodrich. After adventuring south down the peninsula from the U.S. border, we have made our way to where the El Camino Real comes out of the hills at the first mission of our trip, and what I like to call the Never Never.
We've arrived at one of my favorite missions on the peninsula. This is San Borja, and this valley feels so magical when you come into it. If you look around, there's just giant sheer cliffs all around. You can't believe that this is where they settled, but this is the spot of the 16th mission. Right behind me are the adobe walls that were created early by the Jesuits and then run by the Franciscans. And if you take a look through the portal there, through the hole in time, you can see the stone church that was created in the early 1800s by the Dominicans. There's a lot of history right here, and we're gonna take you for a look around.
When they built these things, to get the roof on it like that, they would fill it up with dirt. And then they would build the roof on it, and then they'd come in and dig all the dirt back out. So that's the way you got that curved roof up there.
We're holding our hats to show respect to this mission.
The stone walls are feet thick, like 6 feet thick. I mean, it's just insane. The amount of time and effort that they put into that must have just been unreal.
Leaving San Borja means we will soon be along the Sea of Cortez, and we'll continue our journey through the Never Never, which is what I call most of the middle of Baja.
Glorious Baja never disappoints. Bahia de Los Angeles just spectacular for the sunrise, and just everybody's in a good mood, good vibe, bringing supplies to Poncho, and just another fun day on the trail, looking for missions and a little bit of history. I always try to bring my friends to my favorite places, and yeah, it seems like we come here all the time, but really it's only once or twice a year we come out to Poncho's here at San Rafael Fish Camp, and we try to bring them supplies, and you'll see on the table that everybody in the group's brought a bag and donated something, whether it's dog food for his dog or vegetables or whatever. But Poncho's just a cool character. He's just been living out here for, I believe, 21 years, and he has no car. And the closest town to him is Bahia de Los Angeles, which is to the north 55 miles. So he counts on people coming by to hand off supplies and give him stuff. No way to the store, no way to anything. This is just his fish camp in the middle of nowhere.
The people of Baja are amazing. They really are. They're so inviting, and they're so excited for us to come down and see their country and share their culture and learn more about it.
Leaving Poncho's, we are reminded of the simple things and that goodwill and friendship are keys to life. Poncho relies on his connections to people instead of possessions, and that's a great lesson to learn. Over the years, the establishment at San Francisquito has become more and more run down. But the beach, the view, the swimming, and the wildlife seem to be at an all-time high. It was definitely time for a swim.
We had no idea that the views of the coast or the views of the ocean from Baja were so amazing. Crystal blue water. It was as cool as any water we've been in. Kids got to swim. We all got to swim. We saw a bunch of stingrays. That was really fun. More beautiful water than I had anticipated.
Definitely a lot of kids, and that just keeps the energy fun. Like, they're all along for the ride. Like, every time we get to camp, like, they're starting up a new game or wanting to jump on a bike or wherever we're at. So I can only imagine how much fun they're having.
This is probably the best, most secure way you could ever bring your kids to Baja. Next year, I'm bringing my oldest for sure.
Leaving San Francisco, we decided to do a quick side stop at a location 99% of off-road racers have no idea exists, even though they have raced by it many times.
Something a little different looking. I mean, yes, it's still Baja and there's lots of dirt, but when you take a look around here at Pozo Alman, which loosely translated is German well, you see all these different relics, you know, like the adobe buildings, and you see these what look like caves. And from what I understand from the locals is, if you take a look here, these little caves, which, you know, people might think instantly are mining facilities, they're not. This is where the people actually lived that came up and worked the mine. So kind of interesting to just look back in time. I believe this was active around 1905. And I just brought everybody out to take a look and see what it was all about.
I know enough that, you know, from all the years in the desert, that this green rock, they pulverize in the stamping mills and pull the gold out of it. So whether it's in Nevada or Baja or wherever, it's a matter of finding the quartz and the green rock.
We're gonna jump in the trucks and we're gonna head across this Vizcayano desert, and we're gonna head to San Ignacio, which is the spot where one of the most beautiful missions and one of the coolest squares in all of Baja exists. That friendly and amazing oasis on the peninsula, yes, we are in San Ignacio, the traditional halfway point for any trip that's going all the way down. We're going to Loreto looking for the first ever mission, but this is pretty amazing. San Ignacio, founded in 1728. It's definitely a highlight when you're traveling down the peninsula, not just because of the mission, but also because of the square, but the camaraderie between the people that live here and the people that travel here, especially the off-roaders, is massive. And of course, the mayor of San Ignacio, unofficially, is Edson Romero. He's only 18 years old, just graduated from high school, but his family has an ice cream store, which we just can't do without every time we come. So it's ice cream and mission visit.
San Ignacio was probably one of my favorites. It was serene, it was gorgeous. It took a minute just to appreciate where we were.
It's the diamond of the Mission Trail. It's one of the most well-preserved. The village never died around it. The village is still there, so it's just a natural hub, and that's why the locals, the Indians, lived there for thousands of years. It's just a place you have to stop.
Welcome back to the Monster Energy Trail Emissions presented by BFGoodrich Tires. We're in Santa Rosalia, which is not often stopped in town, especially for off-roaders, because all the off-road races traditionally go on the other side of the peninsula. We're right on the Sea of Cortez, and this town was really developed from copper mining. It has a huge French influence from the people traveling over from Europe. And right behind me, you'll see something really spectacular. There's a couple things that have been designed and created by an architect by the name of Gustav Eiffel. One, of course, is the innards of the Statue of Liberty, and this behind me is a church that was found at the World's Fair that he had designed, and it was bought and brought here to Santa Rosalia and constructed. So Santa Rosalia, like I said, has a different feel, a different look. It has that French influence. The buildings look different. It's the only place that you can find train cars on the peninsula, and of course it has the ferry port, all the like incredibly old school looking mining stuff, and it stands out as something totally unique here in Baja.
We're in Santa Rosalia this morning, and Oren discovered he had a broken bracket, top control arm bracket on his rear end.
About a week.
the gun, or the wire-free gun, is shorted out. What I'm doing right now, I think you're going to open the gun there and I'll go find a welding shop in town that has something that works. So they'll get it fixed here, just getting to the right place.
Tip. No, we got it on there. It's lined up. We just got to bring it into town and get the local welder to finish up the job we started. It's a team. Here in Baja, it's a team. So somebody has to make the margaritas, somebody has to open the beer, and that's the signal to get in your trucks and go.
As we make our way south down the Sea Cortez, we arrive at yet another breathtaking stop on our trip, the Mission Santa Rosalia de Mulaje.
We've reached the Mission Santa Rosalia de Mulaje. This was the 4th ever location established of all missions, and it was established back in 1705. It's kind of unique because it's situated on the rare Baja California River, which is just 2 miles away from the Sea Cortez. This cool church that we're in right now was resurrected back in 1766. This is a beautiful mission, and it's just really cool to check it out.
I think one thing particularly that's interesting about it is that it's still so intact. There's a lot of deterioration of a lot of the missions in Mexico, and this particular one, they still use it. The community around it is still attending church here, and you see their presence, and it's really neat.
We're at the mission in Mulaje, checking it out. This is a really cool one. I've only been at like maybe one other time, but the construction is awesome. Architecture's cool. So yeah, Mulaje.
We've arrived in the Conception Bay, and the smartest thing to do when you're off-roading in Baja is to bring a pair of swim trunks so you can go swimming where there's other people. Now, if you venture out into the parts of Baja where there are no people, I think trunks should absolutely be optional. Time to have a little bit of fun Baja style.
Yeah, so we left Santa Rosalia this morning, went to visit the mission at Mulaje. Now we're at this beautiful beach, hanging out for a while before lunch. The water is awesome. Just cool enough to be refreshing, but not really cold. This trail of missions, it's a lot of work, but somebody has to do it.
More trail of missions when we come back.
Now that we've had a dip, it's time to check out the vistas along the Bahia Conception and continue south to the Sea of Cortez as we continue our adventure into the beauty of Baja Sur.
The fact that, you know, one minute you'd be cruising along and there'd be just cactuses and desert, pretty much what I'm accustomed to coming from Arizona. And the next thing you know, you'd turn the corner and there'd be this lush green oasis with a body of water and beautiful palm trees.
The Sea of Cortez is absolutely gorgeous. You just kind of going along the coastline. On one hand, you got these beautiful cactus plants, everything along the trail. Then you look over to your left and you have this beautiful body of water, all these massive islands just out there, kind of like, I don't know, you just feel like you're kind of on the edge of nowhere.
30 miles from Loreto, Cameron Steele has found a secret beach, beautiful blue, slight breeze, which makes the humidity way better.
and we had an epic lunch, and now we're just chilling, swimming, having a great time.
Can't wait. I'm looking forward to get to Loretto. I love Loretto, and I love the trails surrounding Loretto, and I'm looking forward to seeing some new roads, some new trails that I haven't seen before, some new missions, of course. That's what we're here. We're doing the Trail of Missions.
Our destination is the Jewel of the Mission Trail at San Javier on this year's Monster Energy Trail of Missions presented by BFGoodrich. But for now, it's time to chill at a resort after 5 days of more remote locations.
You know what I've been dealing with, right? It starts with a circus full of trucks. It actually starts with a bunch of emails, and then it ends up with a circus full of trucks, then it ends up with screaming kids. But how stoked are we to be at a little slice of paradise of Villa del Palmar here, south of Loretto, and everybody's smooth so far. We're still trying to get to our final destination at the San Javier mission, but right now we're just stoked to be right waterfront, put our feet up for a little bit, and do a little relaxing.
Finally made it down to Loretto. It's been a badass, 4 on our 5th day. Cameron put together an awesome trail of missions like he does every year, and I'm super stoked to be down here.
No, that's not bad.
Today, Casey and his band of misfits decided to abandon us on the trail and instead try to reel in a different kind of fun.
Decided to venture off with the boys, and we took 6 of us. We're going out doing some fishing. Rented a Ponga, a little center console. Gonna go get some marlin, some yellowtail today.
The rest of us decided to take the time to head south to one of the most amazing locations on the Baja Peninsula. The route happens to feature what I generally have said is the most dangerous off-road turn in Baja. But to my surprise, it now has some concrete for better traction, but it's still gnarly.
Cool road on the way in here. I mean, tight even for a Jeep. These guys in these trucks was really hanging off the edge. This is an awesome beach. It looks awesome though. As we came down the hill, we were looking down, we seen bat rays, and there was a fish about over 3 feet long swimming around right over here. It could have been a shark. We didn't know what it was, but it was a big fish.
Hi.
Good fun, Agua Verde.
Beautiful.
We decided to take a break from the dirt today and get in the water a little bit. So last night the hotel helped us find a fishing boat, and our guy David took us out. As soon as we got out, we had a bite from a shark, but it tore our bait in half.
Oh, Mike, he's running! He's further away now than we started.
We spotted a marlin hanging out on the surface, and Captain David is rigging up bait that's usually bigger than the stuff I catch when I go fishing. And hopefully we nail this bad boy.
Then we all took turns reeling in 100-pound sailfish.
Yahoo!
Right before we got it to the boat, it ripped the hook out and kept going.
Got skunked.
Spit it out.
You know, kind of felt bad ditching the group, but to be out here together, you know, having fun, enjoying the aquatic side of Loretto while we're down here is super cool, super fun.
So it was a great little morning out here in Loretto, checking out the local islands. Absolutely beautiful out there, super picturesque, watercolor, swimming, you name it. It was a good little morning.
The Trail of Missions is presented by Monster Energy, unleash the beast. BFGoodrich Tires, are you driver enough? Fox Shocks, redefining your limits, ride Fox. Baja Designs, the scientists of lighting. We will jump back off the grid today as we leave the Loreto area and head into the Sierra de la Giganta mountain range. Our destination is what we think is the most amazing mission in Baja at San Javier. But you can't come to Baja Sur without stopping at the anchor of the Mission Trail and visiting what was once the capital of the Californias, the town of Loreto.
The birthplace of the Mission Trail here in Loreto, it's right downtown and not far off the Sea of Cortez. It's a pretty town to come to. Everybody's super friendly. The jewel of the Mission Trail, San Javier, that's our destination on Trail of Missions. But you can't go on the Trail of Missions without going to Loreto.
Leaving Loreto, we make our way to our final mission visit. But the trip is far from over, as the trail takes us through some of the toughest terrain yet. With 27 missions in Baja, it's impossible to see them all on one trip. But if you're going to see only one, we suggest the San Javier mission. It's nestled in the Sierra de la Giganta mountain range outside of Loreto and is not tough to get to, unless of course you happen to be going the DA way.
So yesterday Cameron says, hey, we're gonna go take a trail that I found on Google Earth. I think it's an old race course. I've never been on it before, but hey, let's go.
Heading through the mountains offers a few different routes. We decided on a back way that had many splits and options. The Curries always seem to find the hard way.
There's a power steering line that popped off the other day. We thought we had it repaired and it just blew off again. Luckily, this is something that can be fairly easily fixed.
Power steering pumping out again? Sounds like. Or blow a hose off the pump.
I'm here to help with any problems we might have on the trail. I apologize to everyone. It's someone in our group, those crazy Curries. But we'll get them rolling in just a minute here. Woo, woo!
Yeah, we went on a pretty unique trail yesterday. Cameron decided to Google Maps the road, so it was a road that it was never pre-run or checked out beforehand. So the Jeeps got to go up front, explore the way, which ended up being super cool because the scenery and cactus and shrubbery was overgrown in a way that there was like 10-foot walls on both sides. So like when you're driving through, it was almost like a tunnel for a lot of the way and made for a super good adventure on the way to the mission.
We're on Cameron's GPS course that he has never driven before. We got ourselves into a little rocky canyon here. The Jeeps and trucks are taking a little guiding, so it's made the trail a little more interesting today.
So what we did, we rolled the rocks out of the middle, and it looks like the trucks, if they just kind of stay to their left and drive up on these rocks over here, they'll be able to kind of bank out around it so we won't have an issue.
So on this trip, we had the Curry family, and we got to see them crawl up these boulders on the trail and just crawl over things. It's like, yeah, I would never take my truck there. It was amazing to watch them just articulate and just go right up and over the top of all these things.
We loved the rocks. There was rocks in the road. We got to crawl right over them. We even dropped into a quick bed of rocks where we got to put in 4 low and found a couple other places where us Jeeps could actually lock in our rear diffs and have a little bit of fun and crawl right on up and over some big rock piles and then up a ledge.
Not long ago, this area was only passable by foot or horseback. It hasn't changed much, and it's a privilege being able to experience this timeless landscape from the comfort of a modern-day off-road vehicle.
Well, hey, the whole crew was rolling through, going through this awesome canyon right here, and we noticed that the rancher, the guys that own the land that we're on, were kind of watching from the bluff. And so when we were packing up our position, we came over just to see what's going on, give him some stickers. Turns out he had a low tire, so we put a little bit of air in it for him and gave the little Nino some stickers, and we're gonna move on. Big Baja race fan, so it's a super cool family. I guess they raise goats and stuff up here.
As we continue through the mountains and over the rocky trails, we make our way to the jewel of the Mission Trail at San Javier. The mission was founded by the Jesuits in 1699 in what must have been an almost impossible location to access over 300 years ago.
That's a pretty cool adventure right there, getting the whole donkey circus up to the San Javier Mission. And of course, this is our destination on the Trail of Missions. Founded in 1699, you can see in this massive valley, which today feels like an oven at over 100 degrees. It's just a throwback in time, something you just don't seem to find, where it's a place just sitting all by itself without the town built up around it like it is in Loretto. But here the mission just stands alone, stands proud, and it's just a great place to bring everybody to. Let's go take a look and have some fun and fiesta with the town folk.
First see the mission, you ask yourself, how many times in my life am I going to get to come back here? So you always stop and savor the moment. And I don't care if it was 10 times or your first time, but you can never drive by here. You always have to stop and remember the big picture.
Well, here we are. The town is fired up for the arrival of the Trail of Missions crew. You can see behind us, they're all lined up to get Cameron's autograph. It's cool to see the energy right here in front of the mission. All the trucks rolled in, beautiful drive through the valley, and here we are, the final stop on the trail.
San Javier, that was a neat experience, just being able to roll into town and have all the townspeople come and join us for a big group shot, and just to feel all the energy that was coming off of the crowd and interact and just be with the locals, and it was a really awesome time.
There's a natural spring, and they can't have any more people live here because that's all that it can sustain. Water for the people, water for the plants. You know, like this banana tree. It's native to South America, but at some point it was hauled up here, planted, and it's been feeding the village ever since. So I just look at these cliffs and I wonder, where did all the stone quarry, where did all the stone come from? Did they just knock it off the top and pick it up on the bottom? Pretty impressive. For 100 years they worked at it.
Here we are at San Javier Mission, near what is believed to be the oldest olive tree, planted in the late 1600s. If you're a wood guy like me, it's pretty awesome stuff. Check it out.
I'm overwhelmed by the people that I got to meet on this experience, both as far as the local community that welcomed us so graciously. The Trail of Missions is the opportunity to come down with a group of great people and soak in all that Baja has to offer.
The memories that are made are just amazing, so it's kind of bittersweet when you get to the end because you know it's just about over.
I don't want it to be over. I want to keep on going. I could do this for the rest of my life.
Find something you love to do it for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, you're either rich and happy or you're poor and happy, but you're happy. Come find your happy.
Another epic journey down the Baja Peninsula where the people opened their arms and smiled as we came by, and I gotta tell you, it has been a trip of a lifetime, as it is every time. That's a wrap from Heidi, Cameron, and Kay and the group here on the Trail of Missions. We'll see you next time.